He's my friend.
You old name dropper, you.
What a great aggregation of songs from different eras. You know, Wayfaring Stranger, an old traditional song. George Jordan likes to sing that song a lot. He sings it in worship sometimes for us over in the chapel. He sung it here too. It's a song that has this long history of people liking it for generations, you know, going way, way back. And then that song that Charles did, Tell Me the Story of Jesus. You know, there's a more recent song where somebody wrote a different song and he added an S to story, or made it plural, Tell Me the Stories of Jesus instead of story. And now, a lot of people, when you ask for Tell Me the Story of Jesus, you'll get the more recent song. You know, that bothers me a little bit because another one of my favorite old hymns from, say, the Second Great Awakening, which I would place the Tell Me the Story of Jesus in, was the original Beulah Land, you know. I have reached the land of corn and wine, you know. Well, somebody a few years ago did a song and they called it Sweet Beulah Land. And it's got a really catchy melody, a really better melody than the old song, you know, but it's not the old song, you know. But if you ask for Beulah Land now, you're going to get Sweet Beulah Land and not the original Beulah Land. This bothers me if you like authenticity, and I do. That song that Charles finished with, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, you know, Simon and Garfunkel made it famous. Modern song, but and not originally intended to be a sacred song, but a song which has over the years somehow taken on a certain sacredness to it. You know, when people sing that song now, or when they play that song, you know, usually they're in a sacred frame of mind, and the song itself has, yeah, Charles.
It's considered a wedding song.
Oh, yeah, it's become a wedding song, you know. By the way, Dr. Davis, the reason he wasn't here to back me up on my set is he had a wedding to perform somewhere in Hughes Springs or somewhere. He wasn't expecting to be here at all, but they got through a little bit early. The wedding went through real fast, and here he showed up. He forgot to bring his bass, but but he's making the pictures, the still pictures tonight, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate Joyce Vangenal making the videos while I was on stage. I want to thank all the people who are kind enough to help us make this event what it is, you know. And I'll just look out across the crowd and see. I've already mentioned Miss Lottie Foster, who's.
How about the sound guy?
Say again.
Sound guy.
Sound guy.
Oh, well, I thought I mentioned him earlier. I called him the world's greatest sound man, Eddie Owen, who's got a great musical background. He's going to be a headliner on this show next month, and he's going to have his, what are we calling it, Eddie? The Magnificent Musicians, a great band that he's organized for that. Eddie's a great vocalist as well as a musician, and knows a lot of the, you know, he spent some time in Nashville too, and he's well acquainted with a lot of the famous singers and pickers and singers in Nashville. He was a great friend of Weldon Myrick, one of the fantastic steel guitar players who ever lived. But I'm just looking out here to see, you know, Miss Lottie, I've mentioned her. George Jordan is going to be on the program later. And Carlos Miller, who's one of our favorites here, who comes out and has treated us from time to time. One time after this event, he invited all the musicians to come up to Sonic for a free milkshake. And most everybody took him up on that, I think. And I'm just looking at Joe and Kimberly Courier here. They've performed here several times. Did I see Ron Lawson a while ago somewhere? Ron Lawson has performed here. And let's see, Tex Willis is going to be performing with us tonight. He's performed. Gary McMullen is here. Beverly Radney is here. Jerry Radney is here. John Odum is here, as well as the next performer is going to be the Roger Berry aggregation. You know, we've got some great people who have sitting out in the audience here who have performed before. Darrell Reagan and Ora Young have performed here several times, and they perform regularly at the First Church First Methodist Church in Winsboro. You know, we're just glad to have so many people show up here and help us support this organization and continue. Clay Newsom is usually here. As I said, Joyce is here whenever Clay's here, I guess, and she's helped us out before as a camera person. So we just thank all of you who helped to make this event what it is, it has become over the 5 years. Free family entertainment. And we're ready now to ask Roger Berry, who is a Cater Hill musician, and helping him out, part of his band is Gary McMullen, also from Cater Hill, Beverly Radney, John Odum. They're all members of the family. And when I say family, I'm talking about the Cater Hill family and whatever. So Roger is what I call the wizard of the electric guitar. And we're in for a real treat now. What I like to just think of as the Cater Hill musicians.
Well, here lately I've been called just about everything, so I'm not. Well, it didn't sound right. We call the elderly brothers, Berry brothers. Man, I could go all night on these. Turn the guitar on. It might sound a little better.
Plug it in.
You didn't use that wireless extension cord again, did you?
It's perfect. Okay, now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Squelch Brothers.
Okay, when I'm singing, we're the Bakersfield Bunch. When John sings, we're the Rock and Rollers. When Beverly sings, we're the Choir Bunch. I don't think Gary's gonna sing, I don't know. Okay. Oh, the sun's gonna shine bright more. I saw a little Peter. Don't be what they were before. I'm starting to live here. 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 There'll be no more loneliness, only happiness.
Usually we were going to try something new, and we had Jerry Radney down here. He was going to kind of do a choreography to the music. And I tell you what, when he started practicing, we immediately knew that was something y'all didn't want to see. So we skipped that part. Hallelujah.
What key you want to do?
I don't know.
We didn't practice. Hey. Daughter Beverly.
All right, we sing a song. Open the eyes of my heart. If you know it, sing it. Here we go. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, 'cause I want to see you. 'Cause I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, 'cause I want to see you. 'Cause I want to see you. I wanna see.